Hi everyone on YouTube. You'll probably notice a very different setup now. I am on my Windows computer. My Mac unfortunately died, so I actually had to turn it in for recycle. The hard drive pretty much crashed on the whole thing, so I'm on my Windows laptop now. So this video I wanted to talk about, or demo, is a new keyboard that I got relatively recently. I think I have used it for a month or so, but it's the Roland FP30X. Now I want to kind of provide my honest take on this. And I realized that a lot of the reviews that were posted in the past about this product, many people complained about the lack of an LCD screen. But I have to be honest in that, from a blind person's perspective, it actually is better without a screen. Number one, I can navigate by direct key combinations. Now again, I know there's going to be some discrepancies and possibly disagreements with other people, but again, in my situation, because I have a good memory, we naturally just do, I think, as blind folks, we can remember key combinations. So, the keyboard is turned on right now, and I'm hoping that everybody can kind of see. So again, I'm using my Windows webcam, but I have a direct USB audio connection to the keyboard. So everyone should be able to hear that. So right now we're focused on the main piano voice, the concert grand. Now, when I start doing demos and maybe playing a little bit, I'll go ahead and mute my microphone so we're not hearing all the extra noise. But this keyboard, I have to say, guys, is extremely just great. There's what is it? 56 total sounds on this, and again, as far as navigation, it's easier for us. Again, we have to memorize key combinations and the like, but this is my personal take on it. I like this better than having to scroll. I like it better than even using the data dial on other keyboards. Now sure, Yamaha and Korg keyboards that have screens and a number pad, I could input a number directly. But it still involves multiple button presses. With this Roland FP30X, I'll give a quick example. Again, I'm on the concert grand piano. Let's say I want to go immediately to the accordion patch. Here's how to do it. I'm going to hold the electric piano / organ button and press E1. So meaning the second octave E from the left. And there we go. We're on the accordion. Now I apologize if this is a little bit loud. Again, I'm using a direct audio connection, so it might be a little bit loud. What I can actually do on the fly, now that I think about it, pardon the jaws, that is my screen reader, but I'm going to go in and, well, let me mute the microphone first. This is on the fly, I'll admit it, but I can go ahead and turn down the line output on the Roland, so let's go ahead and do that. There we go. So the volume I lowered on the Roland is actually only at 12%. However, it should no longer be clipping the audio. So again, here's the accordion. And this isn't actually a pretty good sample, I think. So that's just one example of how I can go instantly to any sound I want. And I'll give another example. Let's say I want to go to the one of my favorites on here is the jazz scats. This is a classic Roland sound that anyone who is viewing this video that's ever owned a Roland piano or keyboard is going to recognize. So I'm going to now hold the others category button with this E flat, and we get right there. There's the scat. Pretty cool. So it didn't involve any kind of scrolling and having to pass sound after sound to find it. And then I can go right back to piano by simply hitting the piano button. And we're back at the grand piano. So, I'm just saying the purpose of this video really is just to give my perspective as a blind person, as a blind music consumer or musician, that actually keyboards with no displays actually makes navigating easy, because I'm not having to rely on a big complex menu system. Now, I want to be clear that Yamaha DGX 670, which I'm sure a lot of folks here know about, and I did own at one time, had fantastic sounds and rhythms and much more realistic voices. But my view has changed as of late. When it comes to live performance, playing full just piano just sounds better. And it is my work. It's not anything that's, let's say, a pre-programmed drum loop. Again, not that they're bad, and not that they're not useful, but I've really come to the point that I want to be just my own musician and not rely as much on backing tracks. Because here is where I want to get down to the true heart of this video. From a musician's standpoint. Even playing on this default grand piano sample. Now again, maybe people will hear this differently. But this is one of the most dynamic and expressive piano patches I have ever heard. And coming from a keyboard of this size is pretty remarkable. I'll just play maybe noodle around a little bit. I think I'm going to try and stay away from the standards. I mean, I could do it, but there have been some copyright issues that YouTube actually runs across when it analyzes the video while uploading, and so I'm going to do completely original stuff. I might take ideas from jazz songs, but I'm just going to literally improvise, and I want anyone who's listening right now to this video to really hear this piano and let it just sing. Alright, so here's where I'm going to go ahead and turn off the microphone, which I think, yes. There we go. And just let the piano sing for itself. And this is completely all me playing. Here we go. So what did everyone think, right? I mean, this is the default with no parameter changes, nothing. This is what we get out of the box, and I think it's incredible. Now, of course, I can go in and change the ambiance. Again, this is an example. Yes, we have to memorize what key is assigned to this, but I believe it is this C sharp. I always call it C sharp 5, and what I'm going to do is hold down my function button. Okay, actually, it's the D above. I'm sorry. To change the ambiance and increase it, I'm going to press D5 5 times. Oh, yes. So I'm already hearing a big, huge difference. So now, I'll mute the mic and play again. The piano is now going to have reverb on it, and it's going to sound like it's in a concert hall. And it's going to make it even more expressive. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, other examples of going right to an instrument of my desire, I'm going to go to what they call magical piano. Now, this is absolutely awesome. I can easily use this for romantic love songs, and again, I'm going to have to be careful here, just because I'm sure I'm going to inadvertently play a well-known song. But what I'm going to do is hold the piano button down while pressing this F sharp. It would be the 4th black key from the left. So I press it, and now we should be focused on magical piano. So basically what this means is that it's going to be a piano, but now with, I think, a pad and, if my ears are hearing this right, a small, like a low volume FM piano sort of in the background. But this is, again, very appropriate for romantic love songs and like that. So here's a brief sample that I'm going to play using this. I have to say, I really like the way the pad continues to hold. It's, again, it's a very expressive tone, in my opinion. So basically, while this won't be one of my long videos, I wanted to make this just to show everyone that the Roland FP30X, while I know that not everybody is going to like the interface, from a visually impaired perspective, I like this. And I honestly am preferring keyboards without a screen versus keyboards with a screen. And furthermore, it takes off more weight, even if the screens aren't that big. Considering the key action on this thing, The PHA4, I believe it's called, in a lightweight package of only 32 pounds. That's incredible. Now, as far as the internal speakers are concerned, I do have my criticisms. It would be nice if they could have put speakers like right here on top in the front part rather than down, because even though there's an equalizer setting, I found that actually when I take this keyboard to some of the nursing homes I play at in my local area, when it's set on a table, unfortunately what this results in is vents being blocked. Those sound vents actually get somewhat covered up. So now the keyboard doesn't sound as powerful and like that. Versus when it's on the stand, the speaker vents are very close, but they're not covered up. They might be rubbing against the stand, like here. On this underside, right here where my right hand is, there's the little speaker vent. But it's not being completely covered up. See, when it's on a table, that is when it's covered up. So, personally, either sitting on a stand, like the one that's here, or even on my lap, I believe that the speakers still project very well, as long as there's nothing obstructing the sound vents. That's like my only criticism with the speakers. If they might have just spread them out a little bit more, even when it's placed on a table. If the speaker vent, let's say, was just maybe a little to the right, nothing would cover it up, regardless of surface. As it is, if you, like I say, put it on a table or any sort of solid surface that just happens to cover the speaker vent, you're not going to get as good a sound quality out of this. And I would demonstrate the built-in speakers, and I suppose I could here. There is no one else home right now, so I technically could do it. So to turn the speakers on, again, there's no physical switch, but I go hold the function button and press this very high F key. And we should now get speaker output as well as audio line in. Oh, and actually, so we're not going to hear the sound doubled. Let's mute the line in. I'll be right back to do that. Okay, so what I muted the microphone just briefly, but I also muted the line level, so we should only now hear the speakers. So here's what they would sound like. Uh-oh, hang on. What's happening here? Ah, there we go. I'm sorry. Okay, I misspoke. It's not the F key, it's the F sharp key to turn them back on. Alright, there we go. So now we're going to get... Ooh, I got a bass. Let me turn the bass off. Okay, here we go. Here is from the speakers. Pretty powerful. Oh, for sure. And I think this would do very good outside. Yeah, there's the speaker. Yeah. So I'm just saying that I know, again, everyone has a different viewpoint. Some people probably absolutely love the speaker setup, and some might hate it. Or at least not like it too much. If only, again, the speaker grills maybe were placed a little bit further to the right and not the extreme left and right sides. I don't think it would be covering up any it wouldn't be obscured by any solid surface. If that makes sense, I don't know. But as long as it's on a stand or even in my lap, the sound's going to carry. So, that's that. And one other aspect, actually, this is totally on the spot thinking here, but I wanted to demo one last thing. Now let's go back to the regular line, so I'm going to mute again. Okay. I always mute the mic when I'm making adjustments just because I'm having to rely on the screen reader and I don't want that getting into the video. So now we're back on the regular line. Okay, that's a direct audio feed. Now, this is what I was going to say. The accordion, this is really, really neat that no other keyboard that I have ever played on has done. So based off of my dynamics, I'm going to go select the sound again. There we go. Based off my dynamics, the accordion timbre changes. And I'm very technical here. I don't know if there's anyone coming across this video is going to understand what I'm talking about. But on normal accordions, the speed of the reed obviously makes a difference of how you pull and push. But what I'm finding is that the actual, timbre changes depending on the playing strength. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start playing soft, and it's going to sound one way. And play loud, it's going to sound completely different, but it's the same patch. So here's an example. I'll play maybe basic scale. Real basic scale, but on a very soft setting first. And here's what it sounds like. Actually, one second. I'm going to turn off reverb now. With this key combination. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, and actually, I'm going to also lower the velocity, I believe, as well. Hopefully I can do that. If I remember what it is. That's the thing. There we go. I lowered the key velocity, the touch sensitivity, because I actually found it was on a very low setting. I want it on a high one now, in order to really, really demonstrate what I'm talking about. So here's it really soft. Here we go. Hang on. I'm going to lower it down a little more. There we go. That's better. Now let's play it again soft. So to me, what that sounds like is almost like more of an Italian accordion, something you would hear in Henry Mancini songs. Oops, I'm sorry. This one note, I'm going to just hold this one note down. That's a G. But played loud, it's going to sound very different. To my ears, what it's doing is it's adding an extra reed setting. So rather than like the very dry kind of... if that makes sense. The drier sound or a single reed. Like that. It's very soft. And obviously that's, what we want if you're playing soft. But then as I play louder and louder, it's adding like the detuned sound. So if you listen real carefully, again, I'm going to play Start soft again and play progressively louder. And notice the change as I get louder. Then soft again. Then the detuned effect goes away and it goes back to the dry sound. And that's what's so neat with this accordion patch. Again, I know I've been focused on that for a while. But if anyone, picks this up, auditorily wise, let me know. Because this keyboard just is incredible that way. That no other keyboard, in fact, not even really my high-end Yamaha keyboards that I've owned in the past, did. The accordion was literally one sample. You could play it at different velocities and it would still sound good, but the timbre would not change. Basically, it was like someone turning up and down the volume, and that was it. You had no actual change of sound quality. And that's what's neat with this Roland. Now, one last thing I'll demonstrate with this video, in this video, is the scats. This is what's really cool. So, let me go to that. Oops, sorry. Why did I do that? I accidentally activated my thumb drive. This one. There we go. That was a video there on my thumb drive. Sorry about that. Or audio file. Okay. Now let's go to the jazz scats. So if you listen real closely here, the soft velocity is the just do sound. And actually, let me turn up the line just a little bit. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I did turn up the line level on it. So we're going to get a do sound, right? Then as I start to play louder, what's going to happen is the technique will change to a but, or a dot, actually. If I play in order, now it's a dot, then it's bup, and then the loudest setting would be this.
Down.
A down. Right? It's pretty cool. So you could easily do those scats in a row. If I were to, let's say, play... It's a bit silly, I know. But it's still all the same, nevertheless, a lot of fun when you get into it. So, that's what's neat. Again, with the, depending on the dynamics and the strength of my playing, the scats change from doos to bups to duts to the down at its highest velocity. So, that's my take on this particular model. I have to say, again, while there is no physical screen on here, I prefer that from this point. Because it takes up less space. It also takes off the weight and makes it, reasonably light for its key action and like that. So, hopefully this video comes across on YouTube relatively well. I am sorry for all the ambient noises, my fans running, and then my bedroom fans running, as well as the computer fans. So not the greatest of qualities, but I still wanted to make this video to showcase the Roland and also to provide my personal take on this model. So I will be back, hopefully, relatively soon with another video, and maybe I'll go ahead and start uploading more tunes using this piano. and hope everyone enjoys. Please subscribe if you have not to my channel. Again, I'm not doing this for money. I'm not doing it just for, selfish gain, but I'm doing it as more of informative. And when it comes to my actual songs, or you could say virtual concerts that I did during the pandemic, the height of it, it's for people's enjoyment. So that's what this is all about. So I hope everyone here found this informative and, a different take, a different approach, a different viewpoint on a keyboard without a screen. So I will be back next time.